Good afternoon, everybody. All praise to Ahaya. So today I just wanted to bring to your attention food, and how it affects our reality, how it affects our lives, how the choices that we make have a direct effect on the things that we experience in this realm. So as you can see, there's a bunch of different things that happen to your body when you eat incorrectly. And a lot of that comes from parasites. Parasites are in mostly every form of food. They come from chicken, pork, beef, fruits, vegetables if they're not washed correctly. But parasites, what they essentially do is they steal all of your nutrients from inside of you. They cause abdominal pain, discomfort, bloating, gas, diarrhea, right? So one thing that a lot of people don't realize is how your stomach and your brain are both made from the same material. So if you're eating incorrectly and these parasites have infested you, they're going to crawl up your spine, through your spinal column, and that's where MS comes from. They're going to do a number on your gut. That's where cancers come from. Everything starts in the gut, all disease. And it's going to do a number on your memory and your brain function. That's where Alzheimer's and dementia and all those things come from. So all disease, it starts in the gut. It starts with the choices that you make at the grocery store or even before you get to the grocery store. So I just wanted to give you guys some extra knowledge of what else to stay away from. So as you can see on the screen, all these things have pork in it. They don't need to have pork in it, but they do. They put pork in toothpaste and Doritos and gelatin and McDonald's product, fast food products, all these products that processed foods that come from, even peanut butter. It's crazy. But all these foods, they have pork snuck into it. They might call it by a different name, and you guys can do your due diligence of looking up that specific name that they call it by. But trust me, there's pork in all this stuff. So they're attacking you. That's the crafty counsel, or part of the crafty counsel that these people, the elites, they've taken against Yah's hidden one. So what can we do to, take preventative measures against what they're doing to us? First things first is that we can eat better. We can make better choices. We can educate ourselves about what is good. We can educate ourselves about what we are, how we're supposed to operate as humans created by the Most High. There must be an instruction manual of what is good for us, right? Essentially, we're supposed to be hydrated beings. We are electromagnetic beings that don't carry enough salt in us. So you need to get salt into you. That's why it says salt every offering. You need to get salt into you. And we also need to lay off of the fat that this, as it says here in the scripture on the screen, it says that we're not supposed to eat any fat or blood in our dwelling places as for all time. And there's a reason for that. The fat does a number on your memory. Again, going back to the intestine or the brain. I forget the name of the specific material, but it does do a number on your memory when you're eating incorrect fat. That's why all these seed oils and beef tallow, it's bad for you, right? And then the Most High also tells us to be clean. That means touch no unclean thing. Okay? And then to go even further, there's certain things that we need to stay away from. So like anything on the screen right here, with the exception of watermelon, of course. Fried chicken, cornbread, chitlins, grits, collard greens, all this stuff is made with pork or fat or both. You understand? So we call it soul food, not knowing that all of this stuff goes directly against our dietary laws, right? So that's maybe one reason that the Most High is not hearing us, because we still don't know how to eat correctly. Something so small, but it's something that we have control over. He gave us control over what we put in our bodies, right? So again, this is it looks like delicious food if you're from down south. You got fried catfish, collard greens, black-eyed peas. You got everything on the plate. But again, all stuff that is not in accordance with the dietary law of the Most High. And I love this. Talk about how they put it in our faces. So this movie, They Clone Tyrone, they put a scene in there about the people eating chicken. And when they ate the chicken, the whole restaurant just bursted out with laughter. And basically what the scene is trying to tell you is that they're putting stuff in the food, right? Because they always put stuff in our faces to let us know. I know chicken is not in the dietary laws essentially, directly, but I do understand it to be that flying, creeping thing that he told us not to eat. It is a flying, creeping thing that we're not supposed to be consuming, because look at what chickens consume themselves. They consume everything They're like the vacuum cleaners of the earth, right? They're just like shrimp. They're just like catfish. They're just like roaches. They eat everything. They will eat their own poop if you sit there and watch them and let them. So it's one of the things that, again, if you know who the Most High's people are, which is the African American people in the United States, that's been marketed to us. It's a literal attack on your spirituality, on your connection with the Most High, on your devotion to the Most High. It is an all-out war, but we don't see it like that. We just see it as food. But it goes so deep. You have a choice to make. When the Most High tells us to come out of her, my people, flee from the midst of Babylon, this is what he's talking about. This is a part of it, right? We need to know what to flee from, right? All of us don't have money to flee from a location, but we do have the power to choose correctly, right? So when the Most High is telling us, when the High is telling us to come out of her, my people, we need to adjust our choices to line up with his law, right? Now that we're awake, now that we're waking up, have we done our due diligence so that we don't have these flatworms and pinworms and all these different parasites that control your mood, that control your decision making? They actually do. And again, they put that in the movies too. I don't know if you ever saw that first movie of Men in Black, when those parasitical things, they ate all the sugar and took over the guy's body, and one of them was even driving the guy around like a almost kind of like a car. You know, there was an alien that sat in the guy's brain and had control over the body. But what they're telling you through that symbolism is it's parasites, right? Going back to the flying unclean thing, and the chicken, this is what I was talking about, as you see on the screen. We're not supposed to be eating chicken. That's a hard lesson to learn. But somewhere, I can't remember the exact scripture off the top of my head, but it does say that we are eating the broth of abominable things are in our vessels, or our vessel is our body, and the broth of the abominable thing is like chicken broth. When you give your loved ones chicken soup, or you're eating ramen noodles or whatever, that's the broth of the abominable thing that the Most High is talking about. The chicken that they serve us, it's an abomination to the Most High. It is not what he created. He created this, the red jungle fowl. The chicken that they serve us is not the chicken that you see on the screen. And again, we're not even supposed to eat the chicken that you see on the screen, because it fits with all of the dietary laws listed in Leviticus and Deuteronomy. And again, not to be a legalistic person, but essentially that's what it is. We're supposed to be living by the law anyway, and it's for our protection, not for mainly for our protection. Yes, this is how the Most High evaluates our obedience and tests us, is through his law, but it's for our protection, right? As you see, again, a swarm of chicken. These are the swarming, flying, creeping things. It's right there. Once you understand what the creature's behavior, then you can understand what the Most High Ahaya is really saying to us. So I'm trying to think what else. I think that's pretty much about it. I hope this helps to edify someone, and you can see that chicken is definitely not on the list of approved things to eat. I just wanted to, help somebody else see, because I ate chicken for my entire life. I worked at McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, eating them chicken sandwiches over and over again. I had to go on a hard fast, get that oregano oil out, get that black walnut hull, that wormwood, bloodroot, sarsaparilla, detox my entire body, do the same for my family, because again, when the Most High turns this thing back on, and he allows his messenger to come to his temple, whoever is not in the correct standing, whoever has not gotten this message, you're going to go the way of the heathen. And that just is what it is. I hope this helps somebody out. I love you guys. Salah.